the main event.
Well, welcome everyone to the Main Event Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Danny.
I am Jackie.
And I am Chuck.
And we're super pumped to be recording our first official episode of the Main Event Podcast.
Yay!
Covering the first full week of wrestling of 2024. So we're going to cover day one edition of Raw. We'll be covering Dynamite, the New Year's edition of SmackDown, and then I'm sure we'll be sharing some predictions and wrestling news and other banter of sorts. So anyways, how was wrestling this week for you guys?
That's good.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, saw some pretty good things, I guess.
We'll circle back to that after we do your WWE Monday night thing.
Yeah, they want to get the boring part out of the way.
Well,
It's to us.
to be fair,
It's not boring.
I feel like on the notes that I took about Wednesday, my first note is Dynamite was like an episode of WWE. Lots of storytelling, little amount of wrestling.
I think they're maybe starting to realize that people really like that.
Do they?
I mean, the viewership difference is pretty stark difference there.
All right, then.
But, I digress.
Dies in the grass again.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, let's get into the day one edition of Raw. A lot of stuff happened, including a super big return that we'll talk about. But anyways, so the show started out Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. I will say that I found it strange that they've never had a singles match together.
No, really?
Yeah, they have never wrestled one-on-one. It was Nia Jax back during Survivor Series of 2019 or 2018, where she punched Becky in the face and
we all
broke
know.
her nose.
We all
I mean,
know about the
that would
busted
make sense
nose.
on not
And
wanting to
that
wrestle that
is-
person.
And that is literally like what catapulted Becky Lynch into the man persona. And they never got to actually see that storyline through because, as Becky put it, everyone...
You're so unlikable.
Yeah.
Your knees couldn't even stand you.
Yeah, that was a really funny line. But she had to have knee surgery,
Favorite.
and then Becky was pregnant, and then Nia Jax got released.
She got fired. Becky said the F word to her.
Yeah. She
Not
said it a lot.
released.
She said it a lot meaner than me. But,
Right.
But yeah, now they're both back, and they are finally getting. They were finally able to kind of see that storyline through. And surprisingly enough, they had Nia Jax go over there.
Really?
She beat Becky Lynch.
That is surprising.
I'm
That is very
assuming-
surprising,
I'm
yeah.
assuming that the story is not over. I'm assuming that it'll
absolutely not.
culminate into something. But, I know that a lot of people don't like Nia Jax, but I'll be honest with you. I really like, I think there should be more, bigger women in the division. People like your Rhea Ripley's and Nia Jax and...
More powerhouses.
Yeah, Rochelle Rodriguez, and I love that. I wish they would do more with Tamina because I think Tamina is a monster.
I feel like they've always kind of buried her or stuck her with crappy partners. and
Yeah.
talent.
I don't know for sure because when she debuted with the Usos, I wasn't watching it at the time, but I think she messed something up early on, and I think it maybe soured Vince to her a little bit. I think I heard something like that. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so they had that match. Nia Jax beat Becky, and then we went into the Cody Rhodes promo calling out Shinsuke.
Oh, yeah, we did watch that part because I wasn't nice.
And I will say that I have never been a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. I've never liked him. I think he looks like a freaking goofball in the ring. I don't like his wrestling
his
style.
gyrations and
Yeah,
the,
he's like
I get that. Yeah,
he seems like just a freaking floppy fish in the ring, and
Freaking floppy fish.
I just have never liked it. However, I know that he is talented. Like, obviously, people like him, whatever. And Vince never let him really do any sort of character development because Vince never really pushed people who didn't speak good English. And Triple H is actually allowing him to really push a storyline right now, and the character development that they're doing with him is incredible. Like the ancient Japanese with like the comic stuff in it. I mean, it's just like really cool what they're doing. And I think that they'll be able to put on a pretty good match next week. That hopefully will tie that storyline up. So then I'm assuming Cody Rhodes will move on to whatever is going to be in store for him for Mania.
Right.
And then we had Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston versus Imperium, which that match actually had to get stopped because one of the Imperium guys got a concussion, I believe.
I did see that.
Yep. Which does, it's kind of cool to see that now because, back in the day, they would just finish the match, but now it's like,
I mean, it wasn't even like back in the day, like 2 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever I think it was Seth, I think, wasn't it, that got through under the rope and like his head or no, it was Enzo. It was the thing that happened with Enzo where he got thrown out of the bottom, or he was supposed to be in between the bottom and the bottom rope, and his neck snapped.
That match got stopped though. I actually literally saw that the other day. I think they stopped that match.
I'm talking a lot about Enzo these days.
He came up in AEW a couple weeks ago too, which was really funny.
Yep, before the devastating news about Kenny Omega.
Yeah, see, I missed that whole era too.
Oh, Enzo and Big Cass was amazing.
I feel like we've watched WWE at like different times.
Yeah, because I stopped watching it. Literally, CM Punk was brand new, and he was on ECW, and I think he had literally just debuted like a month into, and then I stopped watching wrestling
with a bald Serena Deeb.
I
yes.
don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they had really developed a storyline for him yet.
When he was straight edge was when we started watching again, and probably. I don't know when we kind of
maybe so. I remember his straight edge persona.
Yeah,
that's when about the time I stopped watching.
I'm just never a fan of this man.
And then I didn't pick it back up until Bray Wyatt in 2017, 2018.
I think that's probably when we started slowing down our watching too.
And yeah, I mean once I saw Bray, I was like, oh, I'm in.
This guy.
But I mean, I was always for the Bray Wyatt storyline for sure.
I saw something the other day.
Absolutely loved Bray Wyatt.
Where they were talking about there was like a crazy version of Jeff Hardy. So they're going to do that.
Willow, I think.
Yeah, like Willow, Jeff Hardy, Broken Matt, and The Fiend. They were going to like put them in a thing together.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been a fun
Willow was in WWE?
No.
So okay. Just like a thing.
So how it was like Matt Hardy's delete error. I don't remember what it was called, but he was somebody
Deleter
then
of worlds.
Something.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Jeff was something in there too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would have worked. I mean, I think the broken Matt Hardy character is kind of cool, but it was cool with Bray Wyatt. It would not have worked with the Fiend, I don't think.
No. I think that would have been too much weird in one.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. It's more of a gimmicky type role, whereas I think with the Fiend and stuff, like even though obviously it was a gimmick, but like it was taken a lot more seriously than Broken Matt Hardy. It was almost like a comedy thing, But anyways, yeah, so that match got stopped with Imperium. And I do believe, they said that it ended up being a concussion. And then we had my favorite part of the night where Miz TV was scheduled to interview the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day music hits. Nobody's coming out, and then all of a sudden it cuts to R-Truth's music, and R-Truth comes out with his freaking Judgment Day shirt on with his name duct taped at the bottom, and basically says that he's out there because he's like he wears many hats on the Judgment Day, and one of his main ones is their PR guy because nobody likes him.
What a great helper.
Yeah, and he's got to restore their image because nobody likes them, and they really don't like JD. That he's going all about that, and then JD and Dom come out, and R-Truth is like, JD, you're not even in the Judgment Day. And it leads to the match between Awesome Truth, which was a tag team back in the day. I think they only tagged like once or twice together.
I don't remember it being a thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was very long term, but anyways, so the whole match is funny because R-Truth is playing as if he's in the Judgment Day. So like several spots, he'll have JD McDonough like in a headlock or whatever, and he'll go to try to tag Dom into the match, and he thinks that like they're all in cahoots. And at one point, freaking R-Truth gets up on the ring apron, and JD McDonough accidentally tags R-Truth into the match, and it's just like the funniest freaking thing. I'm very interested to see where that storyline goes, because I find it interesting that the Judgment Day has all of the like serious storyline stuff going on with like Rhea and the Money in the Bank and like all this stuff, but they still find ways, and I think it's just the openness to creative that Triple H has been since he's been in that position without Vince's hand in it.
Yeah.
Has been like, hey, like we can have a serious storyline with the Judgment Day, but like we're gonna add some levity to it, and so like having that comedy aspect for R-Truth and the Judgment Day is just it's very refreshing because it just R-Truth is hilarious. But then we had the special guest, former WWE champion, who turned out to be Jinder Mahal, comes out. And so everyone's like super pumped. They're all standing up. And then Jinder Mahal's music hit. And even I'm like, there's no way this is real. Like, this is not like what they were actually doing. Because number one, it was said that like this person was not on the roster. Jinder Mahal's on the roster.
Right.
And so I was like, this can't be real. But so he gives the classic, like, America sucks and you should be ashamed of your country, that kind of stuff. Your classic kind of foreigner. They've always done that shtick with like Middle Eastern characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And then freaking Rock's music hits. I was actually expecting Batista. That's who I thought it was going to be.
Oh, good old Dave.
And so when the Rock's music hit,
Dave.
I was not expecting that. It kind of took me by surprise. I was pumped, because I think the Rock's cool. I didn't expect it. And, he puts on the classic Rock promo and all that good stuff, but ends up giving him the people's elbow. But what everyone's talking about, the big freaking thing of the last week has been when The Rock basically says, hey, I'm leaving here. I'm going out to eat. And should The Rock sit at a booth? Should The Rock sit at a bar? Or should The Rock sit at the head of the table? And then he does if you smell what The Rock is cooking, and leaves. And it very is obviously setting up Roman versus The Rock. And so now the speculation is, and I'd like to hear what your guys' opinions are, is when do you think that happens?
I saw something where they were talking about making it a match for Elimination Chamber.
That's what I've heard as well.
And is that what's in February then?
That's what's in February.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so long to draw out a story.
Well, so there's a couple things that there's a couple things that I've heard. Number one, and I've said this since, 2 years ago when they've been teasing this match.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be stupid for that match to happen for the title.
Right.
Because it, number one, doesn't need the title, and then number two, it makes the outcome obvious. They're not taking the belt off of Roman and giving it to The Rock. The Rock is literally going to be able to make one appearance every 5 years. He's not able to do a run in the company.
Well,
he's doing one-off, you know?
Roman's not doing a real run in the company anyways.
I
From one
did just
part-time
hear-
to another part-time, though.
I did just hear today. I don't know how true it is because I didn't really look to see what the source was.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make sense based off of what happened on Friday, and we'll get to that later. But they are saying that in 2024, the plan is to bring back the more Thunderdome era Roman, and he's going to be more full-time this year. I don't know how true that is.
Right.
My thought was the original plan, and maybe they're going to have him more full-time through Mania season, and get him through Mania. And then my analysis was always that he was going to be taking a pretty extended hiatus.
Yeah, that's what I thought
After
too.
Mania. And so maybe he'll be full-time through Mania.
Maybe.
But I don't know. But yeah.
He would almost have to be to like build up that much excitement and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know people are fans and they're like, yay and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like you can only be part-time champ for so long, and he's definitely overstayed that time.
No, I agree. People are sick of him holding onto the belt, doing more predictable title defenses.
Right.
He's not like every title defense he's done, even though there's like the hope of, oh, maybe like this person will dethrone
this
him.
time. Yeah.
You know, in the back of your head, like you know in your heart, like this
It's
not
not
going to happen.
Yeah.
But the theory is that if it happens at at Elimination Chamber,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that the arena that they're doing Elimination Chamber in Australia is actually going to be bigger than the arena at WrestleMania this year. So I mean, it's and I'm pretty sure that it's like sold out.
Yeah.
Because you know how often does the WWE do a PLE in Australia? I don't think they ever have.
Yeah, I think this is the first one.
And so it's going to be a huge event. And I could totally see them wanting to pull the trigger on Roman and The Rock at that point.
Yeah.
For the title, you know. And then that would also, in my view, that would give them the ability to use the Elimination Chamber as a way to get Cody Rhodes a shot at whoever ends up holding the like obviously if it's The Rock and Reigns at Elimination Chamber, then it would only make sense to me that it's going to be Reigns and Cody at Mania, which is how I think it should be.
Yeah.
But unless they've got Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble, which I don't think is going to happen. I think CM Punk's going to win that. They've got to figure out a way to get Rhodes onto SmackDown. Otherwise, the brand split doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So, but anyways, yeah. So The Rock came back, did his thing, set up that match, which I don't think it's going to be a super long match, but I think it's going to be a pretty good match.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that ends up looking like. A lot of people are saying that The Rock looks super winded after doing that people's elbow, though. So
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, he's like in his 50s.
No, he's not.
I'm pretty sure he's almost 50.
No. Well, that and, you know, he hasn't done any real, like, action things in a while with the strikes happening. Any new Fast and Furious movies have been put on hold.
Yep. The
So
Rock is
stupid.
51.
51?
He is 51 years old.
All right. Okay.
So, I mean...
I feel like I've been watching him for 50 years, so that's fair.
Yeah. But, I mean, dude looks freaking jacked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he came back. I was like, God, I hope I look like that at 51. I won't, because there's
No.
no way I'm going to do. You know that he travels everywhere he goes. He has an entire gym that travels with him.
That sounds exhausting.
Like, well,
I
I'm
am
sure he
not-
has people that.
Right. I am not dedicated enough to anything to like do that.
Yeah. Any movie he's on, he literally has a gym that goes, and it is on set at all times.
I wonder
His
if the
own
cars
personal
work out
gym.
there too. One of the Fast and Furious movies he does now.
I wanna be that rich to where I could have something like that, but it's not gonna be a gym.
It's not gonna be a
I'll tell you that
gym.
much.
No, it's gonna be a traveling like
Chipotle.
Buffet.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll say a
it'll be
traveling taco
Chipotle.
truck with me.
I'll eat my one taco every day, and it'll be great. But anyway, so I mean, after that, really, you just had women's tag match. It was Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Tegan Nox and Natalya. It was a good match. I mean, Baszler and Zoe went over, which is
Predictable.
predictable,
Right.
yeah. But I will say that that's a great tag team. Baszler and Zoe Stark, fantastic team together. They're playing, I think, face right now, which is fine. I like Shayna Baszler as a heel a little more, but it is what it is. I think Zoe Stark is incredible. I think she'll eventually be a champion. What else was on here? They also did. They did the women's world title. I forgot about that. It was Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile, and she's a recent NXT call up.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic match. I mean, incredible match. Ivy Nile is going to be, I think, a big star. She's fucking jacked, but she's short. So she's just like one of those real short stop. I mean, she's kind of like Zoe Stark in that manner, like just real freaking jacked. But you remember who was Jazz? You remember Jazz back in the day?
Yeah.
God,
Nope.
she was
Yep.
jacked. I mean, yeah, she was just short little black lady that was just
Yeah.
she was built.
What was her name?
Jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
Yeah, she was a tank. I really liked watching her wrestle, but yeah, Ivy Nile kind of reminds me of Jazz a little bit.
Nope,
But then
don't remember her.
after that, it was Seth versus Drew McIntyre for the title. Fantastic match. The ending was predictable. I mean, Damian Priest came out to cash in, failed. Drew McIntyre claymored him before he had a chance to fully cash in the thing. So literally every big title shot that's happened has been Damian Priest trying to cash in this thing.
I am so sick of watching them toy with this cash in.
Well, I think what's happened is they've booked themselves into a corner. They don't know what to do with it.
Well, that's fair.
I mean, they just announced Money in the Bank is going to be in Canada, and at this point, they're going to have to either have him cash it in and lose it, or they're going to have him like lose it in a match to someone. Hell, maybe that's how Cody gets to SmackDown. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say they have too many storylines going right now
Yeah.
for the major championships that he would cash in on. So
And-
like
and
there's
cash in and
no
win.
Yeah.
right, there's nothing that's going to come of the cash in or anything like that right now.
Plausible way that he cashes in and succeeds. I mean, they could do that, throw it out of left field, but he'd be a transitional champion. It'd be a waste.
Right.
It'd be a way to get.
Yeah,
the
he would
ring,
hold
you
it for
know.
a month.
It would
maybe.
just be so he could put on his business cards WWE World Champion.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, and at that point, like, how do you even do that? Like, obviously, the Mania match is going to be Punk versus Rollins. I mean, that's a
Right.
given.
That one's already been set. The one
Yeah,
with
like-
Cody and
Reigns or
yeah.
whoever he ends up facing, which I'm not convinced it'll be Reigns.
I don't think so.
No, he's gonna have.
But
well,
the other thing is a lot of
know.
people are saying that WWE wants him to break Hogan's record, which would put him until SummerSlam, I think.
that's too long.
That's
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like,
yeah.
But he's like,
To erase Hogan from the memory books for the most part. I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
but that's
That
a
would be
really
nice.
long time to have him as champion, especially in this day and age.
But, I mean, you got to think, like, it is. I 100% agree it is. However, you got to think, like, you're 6 months from him beating Hogan's record. Who, in, like, at least in our lifetime, who else do you really think they're going to have another person hold the championship long enough to beat that record?
No. I think they're going to get too much.
Yeah, I don't see
flack
anybody. Yeah.
How long Reigns has held it to be like, we're going to do this again.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be, God, when did Hogan have that record? I mean, it was probably 30, 40 years ago, I would assume.
In the 90s, I believe.
How long ago was Hogan's records? I think it was in the 80s.
80s into 90s, I believe, yeah.
Oh, was it into the 90s?
So, I mean, you got to think, yeah, it was like 40 years ago.
Ouch, bro.
Right.
That hurts.
Well, I mean, I think it was like,
I'm not 40 yet.
I don't think it was in the 90s, because wasn't he in WCW in the 90s?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it had to have been I think it was in the early to mid 80s.
It had to have been.
I don't know for sure. I couldn't find it super quick on Google, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see, by the time they might entertain doing that again, I mean, we're going to be in our 70s.
Right. By the time they decide to do that again, we're going to be watching these people's kids.
Yeah, like I will be watching wrestling from a nursing home, I'm sure of it.
Mm-hmm. Shit in
So,
their pants.
yeah, it'll be great.
Needing a diety change.
But anyway,
He held the title for 1,474 days from 1984 to 1988.
Yeah. So
That's stupid.
There you go. But I mean, this is actually
Reigns is literally like within 6 months of that. I can't. I can totally see them building it up to be The Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania for the title.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Reigns goes over. It officially 100% retires The Rock. He is now the head of the table. And then Cody comes back around at SummerSlam and takes the title off of him.
Really?
I can see them doing that. I don't want them to do that, but I
No.
can see them doing that.
And I feel like if I was Cody in that situation, I'd be a little salty about it. I wouldn't be thrilled
Yeah,
that I got screwed out of a WrestleMania match, but
yeah, I think that what's happened is that a lot of people have, like, they've tied Cody's story to Roman Reigns and not the title.
right.
And I think that that's maybe that's where WWE is trying to, like, get away from, by saying, like, hey, you know, really what's important for Cody is the championship, not the person
Not
who holds
he's
it.
Going against, yeah.
I think, though, that by building it up like they did last year, they've booked themselves into that. Like, okay, like, well, Roman Reigns is the guy to beat. And if someone dethrones Roman Reigns and then Cody beats that person, it's not as impactful. Like,
Right.
Cody not only wants to finish the story, but now he needs his redemption as well. And so, I don't know. I think that they could do it at WrestleMania. They could do it at SummerSlam. Even though WrestleMania obviously is the bigger show, SummerSlam is the second biggest show. So it's like not that, to me, it's not that big of a difference.
Right.
Who knows, you know? So I don't know. But yeah, that was Raw. I thought it was a good show. They had some good wrestling matches. I will say that, like, they had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had like 8 matches. So I mean, they are starting to do more wrestling focused stuff. Even SmackDown was mainly just wrestling. I think that Triple H has been trying to really focus a lot more on the wrestling, and he has been putting a lot more emphasis on the women's division, which I like. But
Well, yeah, he was in charge of creative when they made that all women's pay-per-view that they did once.
I don't think he was in charge yet. He was that was a Stephanie McMahon thing, I think. She convinced her dad to let her do that. I do think they should do that more often, though.
Either way, like can we just make sure that we call him Paul, because he's not Triple H anymore because he doesn't wrestle. So like
I will be calling him.
Oh, yeah.
his business side is Paul. So like that's how it should be addressed from now on.
I saw someone the other day call him Double H because he doesn't go to Triple H anymore.
Paul or Double H. I love all of that.
I like Double H. That's nice. Yeah.
Hey, Double H.
Anyways, all right. Well, yeah, that was Raw. Let's talk about Dynamite.
Dynamite. Yeah.
Right after this break. There you go.
Yeah, we just had to put that in
Got it. So like I said, my first note, because I purchased myself a nice notebook and committed to putting stickers on it, like
as you should.
Yep.
Instead of an $1,800 MacBook, but I digress.
It's fine. Yeah.
The digression is real.
The digression is real.
Always.
That first episode, especially from being the first episode of the year, the first episode after a big pay-per-view where things were happening and all of that, it was a lot of building up other storylines and not as much focus on like the wrestling and everything. Mariah May did make her debut. I feel like it was to a mixed audience. It didn't seem like they were super into her when she started everything, but as the match progressed and she got some good hits and moves and stuff on, they definitely warmed up to her.
I think with the whole Mariah May thing, honestly, I think a lot of people are just seeing her as just another female wrestler.
Tony
there's
flunky.
just Tony Storm's person, because like there's not anything like personally I didn't see anything spectacular in that match, but also who she was wrestling was somebody that had 1 or 2 matches already.
Yeah.
Like and Queen, what was her name? Queen, or no, was that her?
Yes.
Yeah,
It
was Queen something. I don't remember.
She's had a lot of dark matches.
Yeah.
We haven't watched a lot of the dark stuff.
Who is this person again?
Her name's Mariah May.
She was, again, big in New Japan.
Yeah, she was
and
big
a
in
lot
New
of
Japan and stuff like that. She's Tony Storm's lackey now, basically.
Lackey,
Timeless
yeah.
Tony
Whatever.
Storm.
Yeah. Who is that? That's not Diana Perrazio or whoever, right?
No, she came out after that because
I know that was a big signing.
'cause
a
they
lot of
were-
people thought she was going to WWE.
Yeah, because they were in Jersey, and
people in
good
New
old
Jersey.
Renee was doing an interview with
Renee.
Mariah after the match, and
God, Renee.
She was-
I freaking hated her on commentary. Oh, she was.
Renee's
the
amazing.
worst.
Renee.
I like her as an interviewer. I hated her on commentary.
but yeah,
I don't know if it was a character. I felt like she was always just playing stupid.
I feel
yeah,
like
what they're doing with her in AEW is a lot better than
Like I said,
her commentary there.
I liked her as an interviewer
Yeah.
on WWE, but yeah, as a commentator, I felt like she was always just like the ditzy, stupid, and they always like I don't know. I just never
instead of
liked
just
it.
getting somebody like that to actually do that.
Right.
But yeah,
My
what was her name?
problem with-
Dina.
my problem with what they did with Renee is my problem with what they do with a lot of these female wrestlers is they're like, oh, or like not just wrestlers, but like promoters and everything else. Oh, you're attached to this man, so we're going to put your value on with this man. And anytime he's in the ring, we're going to make snide comments to you
That's
about
true.
this man.
Yes.
Did they do that with her and Dean Ambrose at the time?
They did.
They
yeah.
did. Yes, absolutely.
The other men that she was on commentary with, like, ragged on her.
would
for-
always
Corey Graves was
say
one of those.
comments. Well, I mean, Corey Graves is an asshole.
Corey
so
Graves is one of those people, while he was allegedly cheating on his wife with Carmelo.
Bella, yeah. Which though they kind of
Allegedly.
do the same thing to him, but opposite when Carmella's not injured.
it's true. Yes.
So it's just like a commentary shtick. You know what I mean? They did the same thing with Ricochet and the ring announcer when they were feuding. When him and Logan Paul were feuding, like Logan Paul was like, "I'm so sorry that you have to like announce my name as the winner, like with your boyfriend laying in the middle of the ring." And like it was actually kind of cool how they did it. But I digress. Continue. Dynamite.
One of my favorite things was Adam Cole and the what the hell are they calling it?
The Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah, the Undisputed Kingdom.
I mean, talk about a copyright loophole.
What a dumb name.
So dumb.
So they all came out to the ring. Adam sat in a chair because his shattered ankle and was talking about how great all his plan was and everything. And he was talking about how Roddy's going to beat Cassidy for his championship. And then whenever Wardlow takes the main title from whoever has it and Adam's all recovered and everything, Wardlow's just going to drop it to him. And Wardlow was like, yeah, sure, well.
It was a very good spot, honestly.
Like that. And then we had Dante Martin with his foot placed correctly on his leg against
That is true.
Orange Cassidy.
The last time we seen Dante, his foot was on backwards.
His foot was on backwards.
Yeah.
What?
He got injured.
Yeah.
His foot was turned around. It wasn't.
What do
good.
they call them? The Martin guys and the
Top Flight.
Top Flight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Top Flight.
I will say that from what I watched from the Adam Cole promotion, or not promotion, promo. God, mixed up work and podcast. For a second.
It happens.
But
Work and work.
I have always been an Adam Cole fan.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked his in-ring work. I've always liked his promo skills. I think that over the last 6 months, I would say, AEW has brought in some talent that knows how to give a promo.
Yeah.
Because I think that what initially really turned me off from AEW is I heard some of the promos and I was like, this is garbage.
It's true.
It was.
At the beginning, it was pretty garbage. Yeah.
Not only did I think that the promos were garbage, but I think they still didn't have a lot of experienced talent. They had a lot of indie guys that they were signing and newcomers and young guys, and it was just sloppy in the ring, like so sloppy. And so I was just like, this isn't like, not only are the storylines garbage because no one can talk on the mic, but like they're freaking falling all over each other. Mm-hmm. And I think at the time they didn't have very many camera angles either. So it was just like the one freaking camera angle. I was like, this is stupid. But like from what I just watched, like the production looked like it got better. Mm-hmm. You've got people like Adam Cole that's like able to give a half decent promo.
We got Ric Flair now.
Well, you know,
we got Sting. You can't forget about Sting
for another month and a half.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, so I think that with like Adam Cole and stuff like that, I think it's going to be, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll start giving it a try.
We all know you won't.
Yeah, we all know you won't.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, I do think it's sad that Vince McMahon fucked up so hard with Adam Cole because he just let go. You know, like, you guys know the reason he left WWE?
No idea.
Vince McMahon wanted to make him a manager.
That would have been the dumbest thing that he could have ever done.
Was not even going to have him do in-ring work. He was going to be a manager.
That would have been the dumbest thing ever.
Somebody comment like a picture from Adam sitting there with everybody behind him. Something like, it looks like Adam got his management job after all, or something like that. The man has a shattered ankle.
He broke it in a couple of places.
I mean, going from the amount of talent that Adam Cole has in the ring to being a manager of a freaking, I don't remember who it was. I think they were going to have him manage Tommaso Ciampa, if I...
Really?
I don't remember. That might be.
Even if that even is a thing, like,
let me see.
Come
I can
on,
figure that out.
Go ahead with your notes.
The Dante Martin and Orange Cassidy match. It was a good back and forth match. Anytime Cassidy went for them pockets, Dante was like right on him to like stop him with his shenanigans. After that match, obviously Cassidy won. Not necessarily obviously, but Cassidy won. After that match, Private Party came back. And we're out
don't
there.
Even remember who they are. So.
We're out there yipping and yapping.
By the way, it was Keith Lee. They were going to have him manage Keith Lee.
Oh, well, he still can.
Yeah, I mean, he still can. Yeah,
he still can. It's still a possibility.
Another talent they royally screwed up with.
They did.
WWE.
It is true. He
was so over, and they made him change his freaking entrance music. And anyways, I'm sorry. Continue. I'm going to get upset.
We'll save it for the end of the show. Write it down.
Yeah,
that's what I got. I got notes to
we're gonna have
an anger sesh.
What grinds Danny's gears?
The anger sesh of Keith Lee.
Write that down real quick.
The Cassidy match was
the Vince McMahon fuck up time.
The Cassidy match was
time
great.
For that.
I mean, really, anytime Cassidy gets in the ring, he puts on a really good show.
Do you know? I just saw something where he's like in his 40s.
That doesn't surprise me. That's why they originally took the championship from him, I thought, because he was going to try to take some time off, but then they gave it back to him after Mox.
He was going to take time off because, remember, he's tired.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's because he's old.
He was doing an interview with Renee one time, and she said,
he was just
"How
like,
you
I'm
doing,
tired.
buddy?" I'm tired,
He
Renee.
said, I'm tired, Renee.
Tired, Renee.
That's how I feel.
Which is fair.
Pretty much every day.
All the time. Literally every moment of my life. Give me the noisy chair. Christian Cage came out and told the crowd how great he was. And
how much they sucked.
Like always, how great he is, how much they suck, and how he did so great on his match from Saturday, and all the crowd did was chant Luchasaurus.
Which isn't his name anymore.
Right. Well,
his name's Killswitch now. And I think, I'm hoping that that's going to finally turn into something to where Luchasaurus is going to snap and just destroy Christian and Nick Wayne. It's just those two right now. Another place where WWE dropped the ball.
What was
Swerve?
Yeah, they really did. And you know what? There are so many. I like to think back that if they would have freaking forced Vince out
decades ago,
yes. Well, yeah, but like had they forced Vince out, like
a couple years pre-COVID,
not even a year pre-COVID, I don't know if AEW would exist. To be honest, Vince McMahon single-handedly birthed AEW with his shitty booking.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
Drop the ball on all these amazing talents who are doing amazing things in AEW now that had so much potential. Though, to be fair, at that time, the roster was so bloated.
Right.
How do you use all these people? You had to cut some of them, but yeah, I mean, I think that if Vince would have stopped wasting his time on people like freaking Ronda Rousey and put more, put more effort into people like Swerve and Keith Lee and Adam Cole and all these NXT guys who were doing amazing.
In our glory.
God, dude, freaking, oh God, what's the group that Swerve was in WWE with B-Fab and Ashanti the Adonis?
No idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know.
Tell you.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wouldn't even begin to be able to tell you what that was.
I saw a picture and I should have saved it because it was a picture of Tony Storm, FTR, Swerve, and I believe Adam Cole. No, it was not Taz. Jesus Christ. Samoa Joe.
That's what it was. Sorry.
So it was the four of them showing pictures of them in WWE with Samoa Joe and the stupid like
I saw it.
parka.
I seen that
poncho
picture
thing.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Absolutely
like
hilarious.
Tony with the pie in her face or something stupid. Just like goofy shit that WWE was having them do. They did that with Malachi / Alistair
Oh
too.
my god.
They
Yep.
screwed him so hard.
Pisses me off. I loved Alistair Black.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I'm
AEW,
gonna
man, the
need-
House of Black is fucking amazing.
They're amazing. I love them.
All
I
of them.
have
That
heard,
entire
though-
faction.
I have heard though that when his contract is up, he's looking to come back.
He's not very happy right now.
That is
Tony's
true.
gonna need to put him in some singles matches because he's doing a lot of like tag matches with him and Buddy and
You get Malachi Black back with Triple H, and I guarantee.
Oh,
you-
that-
I
yeah, that'll be
guarantee you he's
insane.
World champion.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, for sure.
Plus, he's married to what's her face,
Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega,
yeah,
and Andrade is imminently back in WWE.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they
on the
thought-
list.
They thought he was coming Monday.
That's whenever they were talking, well, because Zelina tweeted something that was like, "I have a secret," something like that, and
yeah.
people were like, "Andrade's coming back tonight."
Which it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, they
it
didn't
makes
use him
sense.
for shit. Honestly, like whenever he first came over, they had that faction that he was like leading.
Oh,
With Roosh and
Yeah.
a couple of other guys.
some other
But like he
luchas.
got injured, I think. I think Andrade got injured, and then like Roosh is doing good by himself because he's still in a faction, but it's not the same one,
at least not with Andrade,
right?
leading
But
it.
it's and now he's just been doing singles shit, and they just kind of used him for this Continental Classic tournament.
To make a rival for Miro and
yeah.
to build that storyline, and then just kind of
Yeah,
Well,
and then
I
now
think,
they're just kind of they're
well,
letting
his
it go, and
contract
it's
is like I think he is actually gone. Like he's
yeah,
He
no,
is,
his
yeah.
contract is gone. He's off of
From
everything.
what I
Like
understand, like
he's
they did not part on good terms. Like it was.
oh, that wouldn't
pretty
surprise me
bad.
at all.
I don't know what I saw was he had I thought it was a good match. His exit match. He tweeted out a statement saying like thanking Tony and all this
Yeah.
other stuff, and from outside visuals it looked peaceful enough, but
Yeah, that's probably just good PR, honestly.
Yeah, from what
I
I
love
read,
that.
like Fightful put something out that said that the sense is that they didn't leave on great terms, and that like, even like a pretty major disagreement happened. I don't know, but yeah. What else you got?
I'm done with my Dynamite notes.
Oh,
I have
nice.
after notes.
Okay. So I guess we'll run through SmackDown quickly. All right. Well, that is going to be a good stopping point for part 1 of this episode. Join us here in a couple days for part 2. We'll have that uploaded and ready for you guys to listen to, where we will cover SmackDown, and also we kind of banter a little bit about MJF and some kind of afterthoughts that we had after talking about everything. So please subscribe, tune in, and we will see you on the next episode of the Main Event Podcast. Peace out.